Hey guys, so today we're going to be taking a look at the Mystery Ranch Prizefighter Pack, which is a beautifully minimal 21-liter EDC bag. And I've always heard great things about Mystery Ranch's bags, but I'd never had a chance to test one out. However, when I saw the Prizefighter Pack, I was really intrigued by its great look, so I reached out to the company to see if they had a unit I'd be able to feature on the channel, and they were kind enough to send one over. And so far, it's been a really great experience. The bag has been very comfortable to wear, which isn't surprising given everything that I'd heard about the Mystery Ranch harness systems in the past. On top of that, it feels very durable, it's a really great size, and I just love the clean and minimalistic look. So very excited to share this one with you guys, and I want to go ahead and thank the company for sending the bag for me to test out, and let's just jump in and take a closer look at the Mystery Ranch Prizefighter Pack. Starting out with the outside of the bag, the company has definitely chosen to keep things very simple here, a nice minimal exterior that feels like it's going to fit in well into tons of different environments, whether you're going into the office or walking around the city or campus. This reminds me a lot of the Evergood CPL24 or even something like the Manal Daily, which we looked at a while back. So just really keeping things very minimal and clean with regards to straps and pocketing. Along the front, the only bit of branding that you have is just the Mystery Ranch logo here on the front, which is a little bit more prominent than I would like to see given how plain the rest of the bag is. I wish it would have been a little bit smaller or maybe placed closer to the bottom. But for the most part, it doesn't stick out too much and the colors blend in pretty well with the rest of the bag. The one thing that I did notice, which was unfortunate, is that there is no external water bottle compartments, which would have been great on a bag like this. So I did have to place my water bottle in the main area of the bag, as we'll see in a little bit. I can see how that would have impacted the clean look that the bag is going for on the outside, but I still would have liked to have seen those included. As far as the materials, the bag is made out of a 500D Cordura fabric, which has felt really durable, and it seems to offer a fair amount of weather resistance. On top of that, the bag has very nice YKK zippers all around that have a great weather resistant coating, so you can see here this is definitely going to help keep anything in the pockets protected from water. A nice benefit of this Cordura fabric is that it's also pretty lightweight, so when the bag is empty it's around 2 pounds, so it really doesn't add much weight to any of the things that you might be carrying with you, which is really nice. Jumping into the capacity, the bag comes in at around 21 liters, which is an ideal size for everyday carry. It offers plenty of space for everything that I need to carry with me on a day-to-day basis to go into the office or for exploring the city. And on top of that, the bag has a very slim silhouette that hugs your back very tightly so it doesn't stick out. You feel very nimble while you're walking around with this, especially if you need to jump into a crowded bus or train or anything like that. So just really like the overall shape and look of the bag as I'm wearing it, and I've been impressed with how much I've been able to hold given how slim it looks. Moving on to the straps and the back paneling, this is an area where the bag really excelled. It has a nice fixed harness system that offers tons of comfort. The straps themselves are very well padded and soft. They have a nice amount of thickness. They have a nice meshy material on the inside to help prevent moisture from building up. And then on top of that, they have a really nice width that prevents them from digging into your shoulders, even when you're wearing it with a lot of weight. At the top, they have these load lifters that allow you to further customize how the bag sits on your back, so you can really tweak it so that it feels just right for your body type. Personally, I feel like the load lifters are a little bit of overkill for a bag this size, so I might have preferred to just leave them off to have a cleaner look here at the top. But if you're somebody who is particularly picky about how a bag sits on your shoulders, it's nice to have this extra ability to tweak that. On the straps, the company has also included an adjustable and removable sternum strap to help distribute the weight. With the system that they've used here, it's definitely very easy to adjust the sternum strap to fit your height, but it does have one of these systems that always feels like it's going to be likely for this to fall off or get lost. I've pulled on it quite a bit and so far I haven't run into any issues, but it is something that you'll want to keep in mind, as if this isn't perfectly positioned with these edges here, it might feel like these could slip through accidentally when you're taking the bag on and off. Moving on to the back paneling, this has also been very comfortable. It has the same soft padding that we saw on the straps with the meshy material to help prevent moisture from building up. I like that the padding is elevated as well to create some air channels here along the side. And one really nice thing about this bag is that it has a plastic frame sheet that goes all throughout the back, so it really feels like you have a lot of support when you're wearing this with a lot of weight. And on top of that, the bag has a nice little curve here that really fits in well into your back, so this sits very nicely against your lower back and offers that extra bit of comfort. So just really great job all around with this back paneling. As I mentioned, this has been one of the most comfortable bags that we've had so far. One thing that I will mention is that even though this is elevated, it would have been nice to have some additional air channels here in the middle of the bag, as I have noticed that on particularly hot days in the Florida weather, I have seen that this does still tend to get a bit sweatier than I have seen with other bags such as the Tortuga Setout, which has the air channels all throughout the bag to give you just that extra bit of airflow. Moving into the organizational options, I really like how the company has chosen to lay everything out here. There's just two very simple quick access compartments on the outside that offer a good amount of space. Jumping into this first pocket here at the top, As I mentioned earlier, very well protected zippers here, and this is meant to be more of a pocket for your sunglasses. So opening this up, currently what I have in here is my Ray-Bans with their case, and then I also tossed in just my small Gerber dime multi-tool, and then the last thing that I have in here is my GoPro Hero 3 Plus. So even though this is just meant to be a sunglasses pocket, as you can see, plenty of space. Even with the items that I had in there was still some leftover volume. And so no internal organization in this compartment, no sort of felt lining on the inside. So if you do put your sunglasses in here, I still recommend you use a case. But I really like how much space was offered here to be able to hold some of those bulkier items, even like my GoPro. And so this is also going to be a great spot to maybe toss in my wallet and keys while I'm running through TSA. So just really like how much space was offered here and the simplicity of the compartment. Next up along the front, there's another quick access compartment that's a little bit larger than the one that we just looked at, but it has a similarly well protected zipper. And so opening this up, this compartment offers a nice amount of space. As far as the depth, it doesn't go all the way down to the bottom. It goes about to the midpoint of the bag, but still offering a nice amount of volume for anything that you need to get to quickly. And so jumping into the items that I currently have here, I have my BluePop portable Bluetooth speaker and power bank. And then I also have a lightning cable to charge my phone. And then the last thing I have in here is my Apple Magic Mouse. And so much like the other compartment, just a very simple layout, no internal organization in here either, no sort of felt lining. Because of the size and depth of this compartment, it might have been nice to have seen a slip pocket or two, or maybe even something like a lanyard where you could hang your keys just to help add some organization. But for the most part, I really like when pockets are this simple so that I can maybe toss in something like a pouch. So because of the size of this, I think I would have been able to fit something like my BagSmart cable organizer or my in-case accessory pouch. So just a very simple compartment, plenty of space. I really like that even when the main compartment has a lot of stuff in it, this still has enough of its own volume to make it really usable. The last area that we're going to be taking a look at is the main compartment. And although this doesn't have a clamshell style opening that goes all the way flat, I still like how low the zippers come down, which gives you a pretty wide opening to make it easy to see everything that's in the main compartment. And so another really well protected YKK zipper here. And so opening this up, you can see that the flap comes up a nice amount, which is nice so you can get a feel for most of the items that are in here. And so I like that even though this is a pretty slim bag, because of this volume that you see here, it is going to be good for holding some bulkier items. And I like how this also kind of molds around the items that you have in here so they don't jut out awkwardly against the bag and kind of ruin the shape. Jumping into the items that I currently have in here, first off I have my Beats Studio wireless headphones. Next up I have the same water bottle that you've seen in all my other daily bag videos. As I mentioned earlier, it's a little bit unfortunate that there's nowhere on the outside to place this, but it does fit in here pretty comfortably. Then next up I have my full-size Moleskine notebook. And then I also have my power packer, which I've been using to hold a lot of my smaller tech accessories, cables and dongles and things like that. Typically I would use my GoRuck wire dot, but I have been using the power packer with this bag as I felt that it fit a little bit better because I had to put my water bottle on the inside. After that, I also have a simple folder to hold my receipts and business papers. And then I also have my Levitate portable standing desk. And so now with the compartment a little bit empty, you can get a feel for the space. So pretty simple compartment overall. I really like how high this comes up. This is what makes it good for handling some bulkier items. This would also maybe be a good spot to throw in something like a packing cube for a quick trip. Or if you need to take some gym clothes and a pair of shoes, you should be able to make that work. So just a really great job with this layout of offering a nice amount of space, but still keeping the bag pretty slim. On the back of the main compartment, there's a small admin panel that has a little bit of internal organization for some of those smaller items that you don't want to lose in the bottom of the bag. And so I chose to leave these a little bit emptier just because I don't like placing bulkier items in here that then push everything up on the bag. It just creates awkward gaps, especially when I place my Levitate portable standing desk in there and my folders. It just kind of pushes everything up awkwardly and makes it a little bit harder to organize the bag. So I kind of like to leave this emptier to make everything flatter. And I wish that they had been included on the flap instead of the back paneling, but that's just a small nitpick and probably more particular to the way that I like to organize my stuff. As far as the slip pockets that were included here, I really like how these were implemented. They offer plenty of space so that they're actually useful. In this bottom one, I definitely would have been able to include something like my Apple Magic Mouse. As you can see, that fits in there pretty comfortably. And then next to that, there's just a few slots for holding something like a pen or a stylus, which is what I currently have here. And then next to that, there is another similarly sized slip pocket, which would have been good for something like a portable battery. And then above those, there's a few larger slip pockets. They're a little bit deeper than the ones we just looked at, so this definitely would have been a good spot to put my BluePop portable Bluetooth speaker and power bank. Currently what I have in here is just my new Samsung T5 portable hard drive. I just wanted to toss that in there because of how slim it was, so it didn't really create that much of a gap. And then in the compartment next to that, I just have the USB-C cable that goes with the hard drive. But really impressive amount of space in these two slip pockets. They go down pretty deep, deeper than my fingers. So if you have a lot of accessories that you don't want to place into a pouch that you need to put in this main area, this is going to be a great way to make them easy to find. Next up, I was happy to see that there's a separate padded sleeve for something like a tablet. Currently what I have in here is my iPad mini 2. But this has enough space to hold something like a full-size 10-inch tablet. I like that this is elevated off the bottom of the ground, and the sleeve itself offers a nice amount of padding. This is fairly rigid, which I was really happy to see, given that most of the times when backpacks offer a tablet area, it's just a simple sleeve, so really like the amount of protection that this adds. There's no sort of fleece lining, which would have been a nice bonus to help prevent against scratching, but still impressed with just how padded and rigid the tablet sleeve is. The last thing we're going to be taking a look at is the laptop compartment, which has been very well implemented. It's elevated off the bottom of the ground to help add that extra protection against drops or placing the bag down too hard. The sleeve itself is very similar to the one on the tablet sleeve, so it has a nice amount of rigidity and padding. It also does not have any sort of felt lining on the inside, but it still feels like your laptop is going to be very well protected. I also really like that because you have this very solid frame sheet along the whole back of the bag, it does feel like your laptop is very well protected, and you also have a lot of help managing the weight from carrying a bigger device on your back. And so the laptop sleeve is meant to hold up to a 15-inch laptop. As you can see, there's plenty of leftover space here at the top. Currently what I have is my 13-inch MacBook Pro. And so pulling that out, you can get a better look at the inside. So very simple compartment. It does come up a decent amount. If you have a slightly thicker device, it should be able to squeeze in there. There's also these elastic bands on the side to make it a little bit easier to get your device in. And then a really nice thing is that the sleeve is pulled away from the sides of the bag to give your device that extra bit of protection if your bag happens to fall over or something. So just a really great job with this laptop compartment overall. It definitely feels like my device is going to be very well protected throughout the day. And in general, I was just very impressed with the overall layout, capacity, and look of the bag. It's very well made, super comfortable, and if you're looking for a versatile and durable all-around EDC bag, this is going to be a great alternative to keep in mind. And so to wrap up, it's been a really great experience testing out the Prizefighter Pack. The bag has a really great look, a simple yet effective layout, a nice build quality, and it's one of the more comfortable daily bags that we featured on the channel. And so you can purchase this on Mystery Ranch's site for about $125, and I think that's a pretty good price considering the build quality and features that the bag has to offer. I also think it compares well to other similar daily bags that we featured on the channel. And so as I was testing this out, one of the first bags that this reminded me of was the Evergood CPL24, which we've talked about a bunch on the channel. That's a really popular EDC bag. It's very well built. It has a simple layout much like this one. I don't feel that it's going to be quite as comfortable as this, and it's also going to be a little bit more expensive, but it does offer a nice flat clamshell opening, which makes packing a little bit easier, and I also feel that it's going to be able to hold just a little bit more than this one. The next bag this reminded me of was the OGIO Alpha Convoy 320, which has been a really solid all-around daily bag. That one has a little bit more of a tactical feel than this. It's not going to be quite as comfortable, but it does have a lot more organizational options, so if you want something that's a similar size, the OGIO Alpha Convoy 320 is going to be a great option to keep in mind. Another bag this reminded me of, which we looked at a long time ago, was the Manal Daily, which isn't necessarily similar in size. That one's going to be a little bit smaller, but it just has a very similar aesthetic. That is a very plain, simple bag. It has a nice flat opening style, so it is very easy to organize. It has a very simple layout, much like this one. It's going to be a little bit more expensive, and I don't think it's going to be nearly as comfortable or be able to hold quite as much stuff. But if you're looking for something smaller than this with a very similar aesthetic that's going to be really durable, the Manal Daily will definitely be a good option to keep in mind. Another good option to take a look at would be something like the Fjallraven Raven 20 backpack. We recently looked at the Raven 28, but we also featured the Raven 20 in that video, and that has a pretty similar size to this. It's going to be a little bit smaller, but it offered a very simple and effective layout, and it had maybe a little bit more organization than this bag here. So if you're looking for something smaller that's also going to be maybe a little bit cheaper, the Raven 20 from Fjallraven is going to be a great option to keep in mind as well. But with all that being said, the Prizefighter Pack holds up really great against all those bags, and if you're looking for a durable all-around EDC bag that's going to be very comfortable to wear and offer a simple yet effective layout, this is going to be a great option to check out. And so I'm curious to hear what you guys think of the Prizefighter Pack, or if there's any other Mystery Ranch bags that you've used in the past. Please let me know your experience, and if you think there are any good options I should feature on the channel in the future. And I want to go ahead and thank the company again for sending the bag for me to test out. And if you guys found this video useful, please go ahead and give us a like. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And thank you guys so much.